Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's that time for me to put Ashworth into deep winter storage. My goal is to prove that you can ride the entire world by motorcycle, taking on each country leg by leg, aiming to store my bike in different locations while needing to fly home, work a full-time job and of course look after my amazing family. This is my dream, this is my goal, this is my adventure, so let's go.
This adventure is supported by Ashworth Automotive in Weston-super-Mare, the #1 garage keeping you and Helmet Head on the road.
Now Ashworth has served me unbelievably well, but with over 21,000 kilometres on it, and the biggest sort of thing of me bringing it back here to the Pyrenees is not just the amount of time I've got to store it, but what I can do to the bike to set it up for next year, because this is the end for me of 2023 and I want to make sure when I come back I dedicate a little bit of time to getting this bike ready for 2024, because it's going to be a wild adventure next year. So let's just go through all the little bits that I'm hoping I can get done and a bit of the wear and tear of the bike itself. So first of all, the wear and tear of the brake pads itself. Now try and have a sneaky look through here to have a look at how much wear on it. They've still got a little bit of tread. I can see the lines still on the pads, but it's the right time to get it done when I fly back. So that's on my list of parts that I'm going to need to order, so I may as well obviously do the front and do the back. So hopefully the pads itself, then it'll have a fresh set on that will take me through ideally another full year of riding. So next up is that chain, because if you look, it's proper minging and gross now. So you can see as well with the chain, I'm on the maximum marker, so it's as far back as it can go. That was my last adjustment during this trip. Obviously the chain's minging anyway, so chain and sprockets need to be done. So we've got pads, chain and sprockets. The other essential thing that I'm gonna have to do when I come back is the oil, because this is done, it was serviced by Honda and when I picked it up back in Portugal, so this has done since then, all the way to Gibraltar, all the way to Africa, back to Gibraltar, the whole length of Spain and here. So it needs the basic oil and really oil and filter, but the filter you have to take the engine casing off, so potentially it might just have to be an oil change. Now the thing I can't do here, and I wouldn't want to do personally because I haven't got the right tools or the kicks, obviously I'll be using my dad's tools if I have to do this myself, is I'd love to change the clutch plates inside, because since burning out and we've adjusted it, it's been fine, but if I could I'd love to, but I don't think that's something we'll be able to do. It is still pulling just fine, so eventually when I get it into another dealership then I'll potentially get that done there. One of the things I'm thinking of adding to the list is these Oxford heated grips that really only lasted me about 6 months to a year. The left side stopped working, so when this is on it runs that red hot, but there's nothing there, and I'd just like to have it just when it gets that little bit nippy when I'm riding late. I don't have to get all my winter gear out just to be able to continue going. So essential stuff that I need to order, really, the minimum is the chain and sprockets, and the oil change is the two sort of, well, the three things really, is the absolute minimum. But I want to do the brake pads and potentially change those grips as well. So I've kind of got a nice little list when I come back. I potentially will take me a day if I take an extra day when I come on the next trip, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. But let's just go through some of my other concerns with the bike and things I think might need doing sometime in the future. Now, one of the things that happened at the Honda garage that I kind of can't get my head around, but when I had the rear tyre change, he said that where the bearing goes in, he says the wheel itself is wearing. What I didn't know was a thing. I was thinking, well, is it just talking about the bearing starting to wear because of all the weight that's on it and all the kilometres I've sort of done? But he said there's like a gap. So they did something, I'm guessing they put washers in to try and seal that gap. And he goes, it's fine, it will last you for a good while. He said, but you need to consider replacing your entire rear wheel. So that's something always in the back of my head going, do you know what, how much longer is it going to be until I have to replace the wheel on Ashworth? So ideally I need to get from a Honda dealer when the tyre needs replacing next, a wheel, so that's going to be future. So wear and tear of doing this world trip so far is somehow I'm eating the inside of the rear wheel. What still sounds bizarre to me, but I've got to bear that in mind. So future wise, it's going to need that as well. So the hardest thing of all is always putting Ashworth away for storage, especially when I know it's going to be months. But like I said, financially it's what I need to do. This is the perfect place to get all those parts that I can get done, ordered. You never know, I might be even able to talk Mr. Ashworth himself into coming out and potentially giving me a hand in getting it sorted. I'm not going to put a standard chain on it, it'll be the heavy duty and all the other stuff. So it will be sorted, it will be done, it'll be cleaned, and it'll be ready for next year. That brings me on to that, my plan for next year. So I continuously keep changing what I want to do, but I have a feeling from here the next leg will be from here in the Pyrenees and to Lake Como area in Italy and whichever airport's near there, and try and get a storage somewhere there. So if you know anybody, please let me know. That is my sort of plan A at the moment. I'm still kind of thinking if I could raise the funds to probably ship the bike somewhere a little bit more sort of crazy and bonkers, like Africa for me was just the perfect example of bonkers and crazy. But I can ride and do a lot more yet. There is so many options I could. So I'm thinking Italy, eventually into Greece, and then into Turkey and into Iran, like I've said before. There is obviously the option of me going up via north, so I sort of go up and I end up doing through Switzerland, and I do things like Germany, and I go up to sort of Norway and all that sort of stuff, all that sort of area going up north, and then coming sort of back down or boating it somewhere from there as well, even maybe even to Iceland. That's crazy expensive, but they're kind of like what my brain's doing, is going, well, I could do this and I could do that and I could do this. I really think I will continue and do what I said right in the beginning, and do Italy and into sort of Greece and Turkey, etc., and go that way around, because we can get through Iran, then we can do Pakistan, then we're into India, and that's really what I want to get into something like chaotic like India, and then going on from there you got Vietnam, etc., etc. I can just keep going and keep going. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So I've got a list of stuff I'm going to do. I've kind of got a plan-ish for next year, but it can always change. But I still think Italy's the thing. I'm pretty sorted. What means really all I need to do now is load Ashworth up, put it in my dad's garage, cover it up and say goodbye. What I hate to have to do, but obviously I've got to, so I've got to go and get on a flight. So I'm going to pack it up, put it away and say the final goodbye. But 2023, we have covered so much. France, like the north of Spain, around the north of Portugal, the whole length of Portugal to Gibraltar to the Sahara Desert, back to Gibraltar, the whole length of Spain, across then a load of the top of the Pyrenees, and then to here in 2023. So I'm so proud of that bike. And then 2024 is going to get more and more interesting. My idea, of course, is to do as many countries as I possibly can, and my whole dream is to cover literally the entire world. But we'll see what happens next. Right, let's load it up. Let's say goodbye to Ashworth. Hopefully I can be back in 2 months, but it might be 3. So let's do it. Let's put this absolute legend of a bike into storage.
Don't wanna waste time. I'll never be this young. I'll never be this young again. Don't wanna chase highs when I'm too worn out. When I'm too worn out. So I'm never coming down. Never coming down. Never coming down again. I was born to be this high. Born to be this high. Born to be this high. My friend, won't you come up here?